So today I want to spend some time talking about six things I've learned about life from what I consider as one of the lowest points in my life. And I know I've talked about this in a previous podcast about the importance of rock bottom. I said when you are rock bottom in life, there's a good to it. It's called abasement. It's important that we learn that condition of life. A lot of us aspire for cliff top, a place of abundance, a place of what seems like strength, but there is abasement and this rock bottom when you find yourself in a place in life that seems like the depths, seems like you're stuck in the depth, and you don't know how to go up from there. And I experienced that very recently, and I want to talk about six things I learned because when you're at rock bottom, it's a great place for questioning. And a lot of us spend rock bottom periods in regret. We spend it in complaining. We spend it in comparing and, in desiring. But we do not spend that time a lot in reflecting. And that is the strength of being rock bottom, reflecting. So I went through this for and maybe it was for about a month or a month and a half. I went through this rock bottom period in my life, and there are six things that I learned that I want to share with you today. And I feel it's very important for somebody to try to key in to what I'm going to say here, because if you can take from these things that I'm going to share with you, when they do happen in your rock bottom period, you wouldn't fall apart. A lot of people fall apart because they do not see a lot of these things I'm going to say. They do not see it coming. They do not expect it. And so it doesn't build in them. It doesn't build them up, rather it tears them apart. So you see, the first thing I learned in my rock bottom period is that people do not see the crumbs. People do not see the crumbs. And what do I mean? You see, for those of you, if you listen closely, and this is what I mean by see the crumbs. When I say listen closely, a lot of people listen to the podcast, but they don't listen closely. They listen for what they want to get, but they're not listening for what I'm actually saying. And this does not just this not this does not just relate to me alone. A lot of times when we talk to people, we have conversations, we don't really listen to them. You understand? We listen for what we want to get. So we listen for the gist. So we do not really converse. You understand? There is no exchange of essence. So we don't really get the essence of what the other person is saying. You see, it always shocked me when I see people commit suicide, take their own lives. It used to shock me a lot because I a lot of times you hear some of them, most of them, you hear their family members, if they're married men with children, you hear their family, their wives especially say, he never give any signs. Never give any signs. He just seemed very happy. You understand? He seemed very happy. We still went out to dinner yesterday. We still had lunch. He still, dropped off the kids at school. He still told them a bedtime story last night. And just this morning, he ended it all. We never saw it coming. I hear this a lot. But it's not true. Never saw it coming. Kind of implies that this person just woke up one day and internalized everything and just decided it would be a good day to end it all. But I've come to realize it's not true. And so for a long time, I've always looked at these people and I've said, these people must be very, I always kind of judge them harshly. I'll say, why didn't they just share more? Why couldn't they just come out and talk? But I realized that for a lot of people, they drop breadcrumbs. We just don't see it. We just decide not to see it. We are so into our own lives that we do not see what's going on around us. And I'm sure for most people that have committed this really, really gruesome act of taking their own lives, a crime against themselves, have dropped breadcrumbs, but people just didn't see. And I can attest to that fact. You know, I wasn't pushed to the point of ending it all. But then it was always amazing to me, during that 1 month or 1.5 months, 1 to 2 months of this really dark period of just questioning and just being in this place of the depth of what seems like darkness and just trying to search for light. I still recorded my podcast nearly every single day. I still spoke on subject matters, but I realized that I was dropping hints a lot about where my mind was. And, sometimes I'll just say, I'm going through my own thing, going through my own grieving, mind not in the right place, struggling with some things, hardship. I used to I used to say it, just drop breadcrumbs. But what always interested me was the fact that I knew and I could see from the statistics that people were listening to the podcast, but very few people reached out. Very few people said, "Oh, you said this thing. What's actually going on?" Very few. You understand? I'll get hundreds of people listen, but maybe just about 2 people or 3 people really ask, "This line you said, what's going on?" You understand? People didn't see the breadcrumbs, or people decided not to see it. It's very easy not to see the breadcrumbs that people are dropping. I remember there was a time, before I got married, while I was still staying in my parents' place. Um, we had moved into a new apartment. It was pretty new then. It was a new apartment in an estate. And when we got there, about a month in or 2 months in, I knew that there was a rat in the house. Other people didn't know, but I knew that there was a rat in the house because when you wake up in the morning, I could see wood shavings on the floor, very tiny wood shavings. And then I'll sweep it up. And then I wake up the next morning, I'll see wood shavings again. And I just knew something was trying to burrow through a door. So I looked at the kitchen door. And when you look at it closely, under the door, you could see there was now a hollow in the door, but with a slight hollow under the door. Just a slight um heel, you understand? Like the negative space of a heel, you understand? Slight hollow, just very slight. I just knew it wasn't straight under that door anymore, and I knew the wooden shavings came from there. And I remember sharing this with people in the house. I think there's a rat. I said, "No, I've not seen any rat. There's no rat in this house. I've never seen a rat in this house." But I knew there was a rat. I knew because I saw what it was dropping. It wasn't destroying or eating anything, but I could see those wooden shavings. And those wooden shavings would turn up every day or every other day. And this hollow in the door got bigger, but nobody noticed it. But I noticed it. And after about 2 months, 2 solid months of not seeing this rat, one day someone was in the kitchen and the rat popped out. Popped out. And everybody was like, "It's a rat. The rat just entered the house. How did he get in?" And I said, "That rat has been in this house for at least 3 months. That rat has been in the house for at least 3 months." And I knew this rat was in this house. And it was it was the first evidence I realized that people look at the big picture but never really observe the details. And that's a life lesson I've learned, that if you're going through stuff, don't expect people to see the crumbs. People don't see the crumbs. I'm sure all those people that took their lives, if they were to come back, they would not say we didn't live. They would say, but I tried to tell you. We must watch out for the crumbs. Simple things like people just telling you, "I'm just tired." They wake up in the morning and say they are tired. Any small thing are tired. And you're like, you've been at home all day. What's your tired? But they can't articulate that tired. And I'm going to say this to women, especially when you have a man around you and a man is telling you he's tired, please do not assume that he needs a nap. Do not assume that he needs a nap. I'm tired for a man means a lot. It's packed. I don't know what it is for women. It might be the same thing for a woman too. When a man tells you I'm tired, you want to really investigate that and really get him to talk some more, because he's seriously trying to leave a crumb. So yeah, first thing I learned is that people don't see crumbs. The second thing I learned is people would rather pray than play. People would rather pray than play. And you see, when you decide to share with people and really tell them what you're going through, and don't expect to be articulate with what you're going through, because a lot of times when you are rock bottom, there are so many things connected to you being there. It's not one thing. It could be the economy, it could be your health, it could be business, it could be everything interwoven. So don't expect anybody who is rock bottom to be able to articulate themselves. It's very hard. It gets them even more frustrated. Just allow them to say per time what it is on their mind. They might not be able to articulate themselves. But one thing I realize is that once you start becoming more vulnerable with people, a lot of people react in one of three ways. This is what I realized. There are a group of people that would freeze and begin to back off. There are a group of people, many people, who would start to back off once you start being vulnerable. A lot of people cannot handle vulnerability. They cannot handle it. Once you start to become vulnerable around them, they begin to back off. So they become silent, or they just move away. You'll be surprised how many people just become silent and not just say anything. You might be really vulnerable in a message to them and just tell them, things are just really hard, and they just don't reply, just don't get back to you. Vulnerability makes people uncomfortable. And when I say this, I'm not different from people too. I'm sure there have been times people have tried to reach out to me and I've not seen the crumbs. And there have times when they've tried to be vulnerable with me and I've become uncomfortable and I've backed off. Because a lot of people see you being vulnerable as transferring a load. And as I said, a lot of people are so involved in their lives that they just feel, I don't need one more load on me. I'm not sure I can bear what this person is trying to lay on me right now. So let me just back off and hope he finds somebody else to put this load on, because I'm too busy with mine. So you find the people that will react that way. You find quite a number of people that will react in that manner. They will back off when they realize you're being vulnerable with them. You're expressing yourself. You're showing them where you hurt. You're taking them to that place and showing them I'm rock bottom. A lot of people will back off. That's the first category of people. The second category of people you will meet are the people who I want to talk about here, who I said they would rather pray than play. Are the people that would pray. See, prayer is a wonderful thing, and I do believe in prayer. Prayer is a strong weapon, is a strong way of accessing God. However, I've come to realize that a lot of people use it as a form of escapism. You understand? So they see prayer as something they can do to just move away, so that you don't have to have anything to do with you. It's the least they can do. But prayer should never be used as the least you can do. Prayer should be used as the most you can do. But a lot of people just say, let me just drop some prayer for you. Least commitment. They see prayer as an action of least commitment. So it saves them from committing. It saves them from having to commit. I live up here in the north, and to be honest with you, in the north, there's more begging in the north than there is down south. There is. I've come to realize that I lived in Lagos for many years, and over 20 years before I moved to the north. One big difference is that in Lagos there might be a little bit of frowning on begging. Here it's okay, it's acceptable. And so you would go out and you would meet people that would just beg you with arms, with a bowl and stuff. And I remember someone telling me, if someone should come and beg you here, just say something and they will go. And I asked the person, what should I say? Just come and just start saying, nah, give me something. Just tell them Alabama, and they would go. And I never asked the person what that thing means, but I said it one day. That's one of the first real Hausa I ever learnt without even knowing what the meaning was. And I realized people would come and beg, and I'll just say Alabama, and they would go. It would be like if you've hypnotized them. They would not continue begging. They will not continue. They will go. No matter how desperate, they might have been following you for miles. But once you say those words, Alabama, they would go. And so I had to ask, what does this thing mean? I think someone said it means something to the effect of God will provide. You see, when I heard that, I felt some level of respect for the northerners. And because once you start praying, they say that as the ultimate thing you can do. That means you are saying, that's the best I can do. God will provide. I'm looking up to God to provide for me. So I can't give you. So they see it as the most sincere thing you can say. Nobody will say that deceitfully. But a lot of times I've said it deceitfully. And so I realized, don't say this thing anyhow. You understand? But I realized it's not the same way with Christianity. A lot of people would pull out prayer before they pull out support. That's the truth. Because it's least involvement. That's what it means. And that's what I mean, that people would rather pray than play. And what do I mean by play? They rather pray than play any active part in trying to get you out of rock bottom status. Any. So that's the category of people, the people that would just rather just pray. People just pray. And it's endemic within Christianity. We take prayer for granted. We take prayer for granted. And I say prayer is very important. Prayer is very important, but I believe that there should be action before prayers. And so as I read the Bible, there are instances when the Bible tells us pray with each other. But you can see the instances that I've seen in the Bible, and I stand to be corrected here. Instances of when someone is sick, incapacitated. Sometimes they can't pray, so you pray with them. She's told you we should pray with them. And the Bible says pray also for people that have left the faith. They've fallen from the faith, one way or the other. So they've fallen. They fall in their relationship with God. So you need to help them with prayer to build. But when it comes to needs, material needs, financial challenges, the Bible never says pray with each other. It says share. Share. The Bible says it very clearly. It talks about when you see your brother doesn't have clothes, doesn't have food, don't tell him, go and keep warm. Go and keep warm. God be with you. It says no. You must give to him. But a lot of people would rather pray than play a part. So if you're in rock bottom stage right now, you just meet a lot of people just praying for you. That means going, bro, God help my brother, God help him, God help. And they just leave you. That's what they do. That's what majority of people will do. Don't let it surprise you. It's what I've realized. It's what I've done. So I don't even exempt myself. Just that being rock bottom has illuminated my eyes to this. It really has. The third thing that I realized about being rock bottom is that social media is an illusion with devastating consequences. Social media is an illusion with devastating consequences. You see, if you're rock bottom, social media would be almost the last straw that breaks the camel's back. Social media can spin you into a state of depression. And you know why social media can be so depressing? It's not particularly because of what others are showing. What happens with social media, for some people, and I don't say for everybody, when you are rock bottom, you'd realize that the people around you are not real. The people that follow you are not real. The so-called friends are not friends. It's very disappointing. It's just like a trap door opening under you. It's like someone pulling the rug from your feet, and then you realize there's no floor under that rug. It is disappointing. A lot of people, and I'll tell you, we are listening right now, if you're on social media and you have any following, whether big or small, I want you first of all to divide that following by 2. Then after you divided it by 2, subtract 100 from it. And after you've done that, divide that number by 10. That's the number of people that are actually following you. Now, what I'm saying is not a math. It's just passing across an ideology that the people following you are really, really little. They are few, if any at all. Social media connections are like cobwebs. They are not strong enough to hold you as a human being. They are not. They are not. They are visible, like cobwebs. They are visible, but they are not strong. They are not strong. For the human, they are not strong. They are strong for the spider and the fly, but they are not strong for you as humans. And a lot of people are thinking they are standing, but they are held by cobwebs. We're very disappointed about social media, especially the larger the number. When you are cliff top, you will think you have a lot of people with you, behind you, supporting you, but that's not true. You do not. You actually do not have a lot of people. There are very few. If all it took was a button for them to follow you, that is not a strong form of connection. All it's going to take for a button for them to ignore you. Just a button click. And you're not even clicking an actual button. You understand? Not even an actual button. It's just a code. Those people are not real. They are not. A lot of them, their compliments are not real. Their support is not real. We will follow you. They wouldn't follow you. We love you. They don't love you. We like you. They don't like you. They don't. I'm telling you, they don't. Social media is not reality. It's an illusion. It is an illusion. I want to say this, especially for people out there that think you're a public speaker, you're a celebrity, it's an illusion. The same message they are sending to you, they are sending exactly the same to somebody else. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I just follow you every day. I just do this and stuff like that. The same thing they're sending to the next person. It's an illusion. Try it and see. Stay away for a year. For a year from social media. Some people do some funny things. When they stayed away for a month or up to a year, they come back and say, I'm so sorry. I've been away. Sorry to my fans. Sorry to my followers. Your followers didn't know you have gone. How many of them contacted you and told you, oh, why have you not been posting? They don't remember. Like, so it's been 1 year. I thought I saw him yesterday. I thought I heard from her yesterday. I thought I watched her video. Oh, I didn't even know. Do you know, I didn't even know that she hasn't posted. Because it's just like weeds, you know. I have a garden. Someone came to weed it last week. By the time I came back today again, and where he picked weeds, another weed had grown there. The same spot. The same thing with social media. Once you go, another person will come right up and they forget right about you. They forget about you. Social media is an illusion with devastating consequences. It's not real. You bring me to the fourth thing that I learned. What is actually real is family. Family is real. Family is real. And I've said this on previous podcasts. Your family was given for support. Family is more functional than emotional. The family serves the function of support. That's why I feel a great deal for people to tell me they are estranged from their families. From your family, you are already handicapped. You are starting the race of life with one leg tied behind the other. You can't run far. Family. And it doesn't matter the financial status of your family. People are too concerned about those things. I've seen people from from family with great wealth, great finance, great inheritance. They are broken. Still no support. They hate each other. And I've seen people from really, really low income families buying together. I'll never forget a mentee of mine. Such a great character. He has great character. He's he's an inspirational person. He's so well cultured, well mannered, loving, very loving guy. And so whenever I want to mentor people, I always start out with a question. I tell them, tell me more about you. Send me a voice note telling me more about yourself. And when he told me about his family wasn't doing well. He was only doing well financially. So his mom was into petty trading. His dad has been out of a job for a while. One of his brothers kind of, has physically challenged. But then he spoke about the family in such glowing light. The connection was such glowing. And that's why you can see such a confident young man, very optimistic. And I've talked to people too that have looked so downtrodden and so depressed. And you ask them and they're like, my dad is this. I'm like, your dad is this? That's your dad? I'm like, yeah, that's my dad. But they are beaten up by life. Family is so important. Family is a great support. I thank God for my family. And that's both my family, my wife and my kids, and my extended family, my sisters, my parents, my in-laws, very grateful for them. Your family is very important. Your family, very important. The devil attacks the family because he knows once he attacks the family, there's no support. And when there's no support, you are easy pickings for the devil. So I say it again. The scattered family is the devil's playground. Your family is one of your biggest support. Your family, very big support. They see you. You understand? Family, very important. Some of us are going to have friends that are like family, but I must tell you, those are harder to find than diamonds. It's easy to say, this person is my friend. So we judge friends by time. You've been friends since we were childhood. That doesn't show that they are deep friends at all. Not at all. That doesn't show Jack. We spend friends by, how they make us feel. You understand? It makes me happy. The person understands me, stuff like that, But before you can find a friend who sticks closer than a brother, you would really try. You will try. I'm telling you, you will try. Friends, if there's nobody, a lot of people, don't think that they are really close to you. I've had people who I have like a misunderstanding with the brother, but by chance I know his sister, and very soon the sister stops picking your call because you had a misunderstanding with the brother. The sister was your close friend, but then the sister stops picking your call because you had so you might think you're close to somebody, but you're not really close to them. You understand? They're not really close to you. So I don't think we should be far from our families. I want to talk to you if you're listening here today. Your family has a dysfunctionality and it has been torn apart. Do your best to bring it back together. It might not be the same, but bringing it back together will build a better foundation for those that are coming. So you might have been torn from your brother for a while, but your kids don't have to be torn from each other. You understand? It's never too late. It's never too late. Families will help you when you're rock bottom. That's if your family has had the right dynamics from the beginning, because some families were very toxic. That's sad. It's incredibly sad. You're incredibly disadvantaged. I really think that places where you have handicap parking, they should give room for people that just come from dysfunctional families, because that's one of the biggest handicaps. Is worse than being unable to walk, being blind, being deaf. It's worse than it. But we don't have accommodations for them. We should have special schools for people with family dysfunction. I'm telling you, and I'm saying this with all seriousness. With all seriousness. Family support is so important. There was a young man I went to secondary school with. He had, I don't know whether polio as a young child that wasn't resolved, so he couldn't walk. Oh, but this guy had incredible confidence. His confidence was more confident than anybody in the class. He was confident about himself, confident about his looks, confident. He spoke well. He could speak really well, you know. But then when I checked it, his family was closely knit. You understand? They were his legs. His family were his legs. Incredible human being. Family's biggest support system. Because you know what? A lot of times your family can see through your sadness. They can see through to your sadness. And you need people like that the most. Don't surround yourself too much with people that make you happy. People that make you happy are important, you understand? But they're not as important as the people who can see through to your sadness. I'll say that again. The people that can make you happy are not as important as the people that can see through to your sadness. I remember there was a day that, just feeling in the dumps, and my wife just said, Tola, sit down. I said, no, what's up now? I just need to go take my bath. She was like, sit down. Come, sit down. She asked me, what's wrong? No, nothing. I'm just feeling a bit tired. I said, sit down. What's wrong? What's wrong? She made me talk that day because she could see through all what I would call the BS. And I was throwing out a lot of BS. I'm okay. I just have to quickly go and I just need to, but she saw. This is not true. That's not true. Sit down. What's up? I know you need days like that, even if it doesn't take you, it doesn't totally resolve your problem. It deflates a lot of pressure that could build up. So you just talking for 5 minutes, it's like deflating the pressure a little bit more that allows you to get through the day. So you need people that actually see you. And a lot of times your family sees you. And children are a very important part of the family. You see, through this my rock bottom experience, I've had an unlikely hero who is my 3-year-old son. And I told my wife, I said, this boy is the one that really makes me happy. Makes me happy each day. And that's why it's good to have children, to be honest with you. It's good. It's good to have children. I do not support when couples get together and say, we are not going to have children. Because you know what you want to achieve with our lives. No. You might be in a situation where you cannot have children biologically, but I would advise you to entertain children into your house. If you have to adopt children, good. If you have to train some nephew, good. Let children be in your house. Children are good energy. I'm telling you, a lot of us look at children from a responsibility end, but we don't look at them from a spiritual end. They pack you with energy. And the younger they are, the better. My 3-year-old son, I always looked at him and he always radiated like true love. When he said good morning, it was pure good morning. When he said, Daddy, please don't go. Daddy, let me go with you. You could see that he actually wanted to be with you. He wants to be with you. It wasn't to get anything, he just wants to be with you. So sometimes, some of us are caught in the foolishness of being distracted from our children because of our social media audience, our following. You understand? Your following. So you're like, people are waiting for you. Your people are waiting for your people. A lot of times are your family. You understand? So if you have children, do never shoo your children away for strangers. So sometimes my dad will be like, my son will be like, Daddy, look, he's always with me, always follows me away. Daddy, where are you going? Daddy, let me come with you. Daddy, are you going out? Daddy, no. Those things are very important. Someone that genuinely wants to just be with you, not because of the money you have or how you look or anything, just pure essence of human connection. Pure human connection. And sometimes foolishly, I'm there just saying, oh, please, I want to record this podcast. Please, I want to send this voice note. Please, I want to put up this post. I'm thinking of a caption. Shh. I'll listen to you later. Don't be foolish. Don't be foolish. Don't exchange cobweb connections for steel iron connection. The really strong ones that matter, that fire cannot burn. Don't exchange them for cobwebs that just your finger can run through. The fifth thing I've learned is death is your biggest money spinner. Death is your biggest money spinner, and people will spend more on you when you die. We need to come to the realization that people show us more concern after we are gone. People value us more when we are gone. People see this every single time. If you could ask Mohbad, you'll be surprised about how big he has grown and how many of his records have sold after he died. Ask Tupac. Ask Nipsey Hussle. What was his name? Ask those people. Anybody that died? Anybody? Their book sell. Their song sell. Everything sells out. And it's not just the celebrities, even you, the regular person. Death is your biggest money spinner. But unfortunately, you wouldn't see any of that money. Just prepare for it that people will spend more after you're gone. People will spend more. I'm telling you, so take care of yourself. Decide to live life. Decide not to concern yourself with how they feel about you or what they think to please them, because they will cash in. Maybe not cash in, but they would invest more towards death than towards you living. Someone that couldn't give you money to transport yourself within your town. Don't be surprised that person will fly from abroad to attend your funeral. They'll fly from abroad. People who couldn't give you anything to buy a snack, they will beg your family to sponsor your burial program. Say, no, come on. You guys don't spend on that. How many programs do you need? 5,000? Okay, I don't worry. I will tell the printer to do 10,000 because he was a good person, he was a good man, he was my good friend. So 10,000. How much is that? 12 million. No, bro, that's no problem for him. For him, he deserves it. 12 million. But the same person couldn't give 12,000. You couldn't give 1,200 naira. But that's truth. That's life. That's life. People will invest. You sponsor your catering for the burial. Because I will have you know that people don't want to mourn anymore. That's too negative a vibe. So don't think that your burial as it's going, people will not dance. People will dance. People will spray money. People will eat. Some people will get drunk. People will take selfies. They'll put it on IG. They'll write poems for you. Become creative for you. Write poems. Read poetic stuff. Your photo will become viral. What a good person. Better live your life well. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself while you're alive. Take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Eat healthy. Sleep well. Take care of yourself, because people are only too willing to spend money on you, in quote, when you're gone. Death is your biggest money spinner. I'm telling you. I don't care how much money you've made on earth. At your dying, you'll be surprised how much people will spend. Look at Herbert Wigwe, incredibly wealthy man. But do you know how much was spent on burying this guy and his wife and his son who had a tragic accident? How much was spent? How much was spent? You'll be shocked how much was spent. Sixth and the last thing that I learned from my rock bottom period is you don't need money. You don't need money. You need meaning. Even if you feel it was a lack of money that put you rock bottom, an influx of money is not what's going to get you out. It's not. You don't need money, you need meaning. The way to escape rock bottom, I'm not saying you won't get there, but how to get out is to find something that is meaningful. Find something that is meaningful. And that's why when you're rock bottom, the most important person to spend time with is God. Because when you're rock bottom, it shows that you need an assignment. When people don't have assignments, they get rock bottom. Elijah was rock bottom in the Bible. He was rock bottom, got into some depression because he had nothing to do. You understand? So all he was just hearing, he started hearing the news of the queen trying to kill him, Jezebel and Ahab. There was nothing else. He had just committed, he had just spent years holding back the rain, spent another time bringing back the rain, confronting the prophets of Baal, and then there was nothing to do. And then Jezebel was like, okay, I'm going to kill this guy. All in there was fresh assignment. So God told him, you know what, I'll give you an assignment. Go and do this and do this and anoint this and do this and anoint this. And we never heard about any down period for him again. You see, how did I get out of this rock bottom feeling? It wasn't money, because money came, but then I just realized I'll come back again and I'll be asking, what's the use of this? It wasn't that, it was fresh assignment. One day I was sitting on the table with my wife, and my wife reminded me about a book we had written, Inspire and Influence. We had written it almost 2 years, committed months writing it, and then we never put it out because we thought we wanted to put it out as a hard copy book. You understand? We wanted to put a hard copy, we wanted to do official launch, all the shebang. But then all those things are out of ego, ego-driven things. And my wife said, what are the projects we have? And then she started highlighting the projects. And I realized I started getting excited. It was like if the walls around my rock bottom cave started giving way and light started coming in. And then she just said the final thing. She said, what about that book? And immediately all the walls fell. All the walls fell. And there I was standing in the middle of lush green meadows with butterflies. And that's how I felt. I felt so energetic. I said, that is it. That's the assignment. We need to finish that book and put it out there. We hadn't even finished it, so we had to do some formatting and stuff. I'm like, let's get back to that book. Let's do that book. And so I said, I'm going to design a front cover for it. And this is me, I've not done graphic design in a while. But here I was, I whipped out my laptop and I rushed to where I work. And I spent about 2 to 3 hours, didn't stand up, just walking, like if it was my first time doing graphic design again. And I worked on the cover design. Oh, I felt so alive. And by the time I came back, I showed my wife because she was like, whoa, I didn't think you're going to get to work that fast. I said, that's exactly what I needed. I needed kingdom work again. That's why the Bible, you see, in Matthew 6, it talks about worry. You worry about things. But the only way to stop worrying is to start seeking. There's no other remedy to worry than to take your attention off what you want to start seeking what God wants. And immediately I knew what God wanted for me to do was the assignment of this book that He had given me 2 years ago. So I wrapped it up. I got the cover and I was on my wife's case. Let's get this book out. I want this. Let's just do this book. So I went back reading the book again, and I was just. And interestingly, what I want to tell you about this book, you see, this book 2 years ago inspired to start it. But when I started reading it, do you know the book started ministering to me and giving me a new lease of life? These were words that were from me in quotes. That's why when we do anything, we are just conduits. They never come from, we're not the composers. And I started getting ministered to by my own book. This book that is so called my own book. And I realized it's not my book, it's God's book. They're not my words, they're God's words. And it ministered to me, and I was like, baby, this book is such a good book. We need to push it out. We need to put it out. This book is important. It's important. So we finished up the book and we put it out there, and it has brought so much, just the doing of it has brought so much light, so much energy. Get up again in the morning. Look, what I'm going to say here, when I was rock bottom, my finances were pretty low. They're low. Now that I've done the book, finances have not particularly changed, but my attitude has changed, my disposition has changed. That's why I say you don't need money, you need meaning. If they give you money, money will finish again. Don't you understand? That's why when we throw money at people, it doesn't really help them. It's meaning they need. If you're at that rock bottom stage right now in your life, I want to tell you, you need meaning in your life. Meaning is what you need. You need God to give you meaning. You need an assignment. You need a task. You need a task. I see it with my dog. My dog sometimes will just be lying down and nothing to do and just think, what's wrong? Dog is so melancholy and so, you're like, is this sick? But bring out the leash and it's up and the ears are perky again because he wants to go on a walk. It gives his life meaning. Some of you need to go on a walk with God. You've just been lying around doing nothing. That's why it seems you are sick. It seems you are rock bottom. It seems your life has no meaning. You're having suicidal thoughts because there's nowhere through which you are expressing God's assignment in your life. You need meaning. And I thank God for the meaning He gave through this book. And you see, the book is out there. And I want to encourage anybody who is interested in it to get it. Get the book. I'll leave a link on the description for this podcast. Please search for it. If you cannot search the description, please contact me +234 80 66249 and ask. I want to purchase a copy of this book. It is not expensive. I'll tell you that. It's not expensive. It's worth it. It's worth it in the long run. It is worth it. It is worth it. It got me out of my rock bottom. It can get you out of your rock bottom too. That's the truth. It's worth it. So if you're interested, click the link, purchase the book. Don't do it to support me. I'm not asking anybody to support me. Don't do anything to support me. God is my support. Do it for you. If your spirit is saying you need it, you are rock bottom. That's why you listen to this thing. When I first started this podcast, you listen because, oh man, I'm rock bottom. I need hope right now. Then you need that book. Follow up. But I learned these 6 things, and they were very important things to learn. And they're not unique to me. That's how life is. That's how life is. The Bible says, in this world we will have trouble, but be of good cheer. You have overcome the world. It's easy to overcome when you know your challenges. And I'm putting this podcast out there so that you can begin to know that thing you're going through, that disillusionment, everything you're seeing, people are not seeing the crumbs. Social media is just getting you frustrated. Seems like if all those people are an illusion, they are. You understand? All those things I've said, don't think they're unique to you. They're real, but they're not unique to you. But one thing you need to do at the end of the day is go back to God and say, God, rock bottom because you want to get my attention. What do you need me to do? What do you need me to do? And God will reveal it to you. My name is Tola T.A. Alabi, and this is the TA Podcast.